It was a tumultuous time in my life. I was merely 4 or 5 years old, and my parents had recently parted ways. The separation had thrown our lives into disarray, and my mother and I had settled into a small 2-bedroom apartment. Despite having my own room, I often preferred to sleep beside her whenever I stayed with her. Our 2 bedrooms stood at the end of a narrow hallway, facing each other like silent sentinels. Our humble abode was situated on the first floor, and I vividly recall it being the middle of a sweltering summer. My mom had left a window ajar in her room, positioned just above the headboard of her bed. The events of that fateful night would forever be etched into my memory. I awoke in the dead of night, my senses suddenly alert. Glancing around, I noticed that our usually faithful cat had stationed itself in the doorway of my mother's room. This was odd since our feline companion usually snuggled up with us during the night. As I observed the cat, it sauntered into my bedroom and let out a plaintive meow. Fear gripped me. I turned to wake my mother. In those brief 3 or 4 seconds it took for her to rouse from her slumber, our attention was drawn back to the doorway, and what we saw sent shivers down our spines. A man was standing in the doorframe, emerging from my room. In an astounding burst of maternal instinct and adrenaline, my mother snatched me up and hurled me out of the nearby window. Despite being on the first floor, the drop was still a daunting 3 feet. She swiftly followed suit, and as we landed on the ground below, we began screaming for help, our voices piercing the silent night. Someone promptly dialed 911, summoning the police to our aid. The law enforcement officers arrived promptly, but found no overt signs of forced entry. The only unsettling detail they unearthed was that our front door was unlocked, leading them to theorize that the intruder had made his exit that way. My mother, however, was adamant that she had secured the door that very night, ensuring both the deadbolt and chain lock were engaged. The days following the traumatic incident were fraught with anxiety and paranoia. The inexplicable intrusion had left its indelible mark on our lives, and my mother's worry for my safety had grown exponentially. About a week later, as she was cleaning the kitchen, my mother discovered a hidden compartment in the water heater closet. It was a chilling revelation. A notebook filled with cryptic names and unsettling drawings lay within, accompanied by a pair of gloves and some crumpled gum wrappers. Once more, the police were summoned, but their hands were tied, and all they could do was speculate. The notebook, with its enigmatic contents, was a stark reminder that the intruder had indeed infiltrated our sanctuary and concealed himself until we were lulled into sleep. The entire ordeal continued to baffle and haunt us. The unanswered questions, the violation of our privacy, and the lingering fear cast a long shadow over our lives. As time passed, we sought solace in therapy and support groups, striving to heal the emotional scars inflicted by that harrowing night. The memories remain vivid, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of our sense of security. My mother and I had survived a nightmare that had intruded into our reality, leaving us with a profound sense of vulnerability. It was a night when the unseen threats lurking in the shadows had come terrifyingly close to shattering our lives, forever etching the importance of vigilance and familial bonds into our hearts. The scars of that night may never fully fade, but they serve as a testament to the strength and resilience we discovered in the face of adversity. In my small town, nestled amidst the picturesque landscapes of British Columbia, the early 1990s bore witness to a chilling chapter in our history. A notorious killer had cast a pall of fear that stretched far beyond our quiet community, keeping the entire province of British Columbia, Canada, on edge. Little did I know that this grim tale had roots in my own family's past, deeply buried until one fateful day when the shadows of history emerged. Before my time, my wife's mother, a resilient woman who had weathered life's storms long before I entered their lives, found herself at the center of a bone-chilling encounter. Her husband, a skilled arborist, had embarked on a work assignment that took him across the ocean to England, leaving her alone in their home. The stage was set for an unsettling and unforgettable episode. It was an ordinary day when she was engrossed in the mundane task of tending to her laundry in the secluded recesses of her home. Unbeknownst to her, darkness was about to descend upon her life in the form of an unexpected intruder. As she was sorting through clothes and soap suds, a sense of foreboding seemed to creep into the room. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the depths of her basement, shrouded in shadow. Her heart quickened, and fear gripped her as she was confronted by a stranger, a presence in her home that should never have been there. Panic surged through her veins, and in a voice that betrayed her anxiety, she demanded, "What the hell are you doing here?" The intruder, as audacious as he was sinister, concocted a flimsy story, claiming to be a friend of her husband's. He insisted that her husband had given him carte blanche to enter the house whenever he pleased. But her instincts, sharpened by a lifetime of experience, told her that this was a ruse, a desperate attempt to mask his true intentions. Despite the fear coursing through her, she summoned her wits and resolved not to reveal her solitude. With a calculated lie, she informed the stranger that her husband had merely stepped out to the store and would be returning imminently. It was a gamble, a desperate ploy to keep the intruder at bay, for she knew that her life and safety hung in the balance. Seemingly satisfied with her response, the stranger agreed to wait outside for her husband's return. With a sense of urgency that belied her calm facade, she watched as he exited her home, his menacing presence withdrawing like a shadow retreating into the night. It was then, with trembling hands and a racing heart, that she seized the opportunity to take action. She wasted no time, hastily reaching for the telephone and dialing the numbers that would summon help. The voice on the other end of the line was a lifeline, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. She relayed the intruder's presence, his eerie intrusion, and her fear for her own safety. But time is a cruel mistress, and the minutes stretched into eternity as she waited for the arrival of the police. By the time they reached her home, the intruder had vanished like a phantom into the night, leaving behind a trail of fear and uncertainty. 2 weeks later, a collective sigh of relief swept through our town as the elusive killer was finally apprehended. The television screens blared his mugshot for all to see, casting a harsh light on the face of evil that had terrorized our community. And there, in that haunting image, my wife's mother recognized the face of the man who had violated the sanctity of her home. The chilling revelation sent shockwaves through our family, and the weight of that encounter lingered like a ghost in the corners of our lives. It was a stark reminder that darkness could lurk in the most unexpected of places, that evil could wear the mask of familiarity. In the aftermath of that traumatic event, my wife's mother found solace in the knowledge that she had summoned the strength to outwit her would-be assailant. Her courage and quick thinking had spared her from a fate too grim to contemplate, a fate that had befallen other victims in our community. As we reflected on that chilling chapter in our family's history, we were reminded of the resilience that resides within us all, the courage that surfaces in moments of peril. And in the face of such darkness, we found ourselves bound together by a shared determination to confront the shadows of the past and to forge ahead, forever vigilant in the presence of the unknown. Swimming used to be my passion, snorkeling, scuba diving, and I even had the thrill of leaping off cliffs into the crystal clear waters. But then, at the age of 18, a sinister twist of fate submerged my world into a chilling abyss that I never saw coming. It all began innocently enough. I delved into the pages of the Necronomicon, H.P. Lovecraft's eerie collection of short stories, seeking a spine-tingling thrill. As I turned each page, a sense of unease crept over me, but I dismissed it with a nervous chuckle, attributing my jitters to an overactive imagination. Soon after, I embarked on a holiday to Crete with my father, blissfully unaware of the ominous shadow lurking beneath the tranquil waves. On the very first day, we eagerly plunged into the ocean's embrace, venturing far from the shore. The azure depths beckoned with an irresistible allure, but little did I know that something unimaginable awaited me beneath the surface. As I swam, I felt a curious sensation, a gentle tickling caressing my legs. Curiosity piqued, I dove beneath the water's surface, my heart pounding in anticipation of the vibrant marine life I hoped to encounter. But what I encountered was a nightmarish tableau beyond my wildest nightmares. Tentacles, grotesque and writhing, emerged from the shadows, their sinister presence sending shockwaves of fear rippling through me. I gasped, my lungs aching for air, as panic gripped me with merciless intensity. In the throes of terror, I inhaled the briny sea, my vision blurred by the surreal dance of glowing eyes, razor-sharp beaks, and sinister suckered tentacles. It was a desperate struggle for survival, a nightmarish encounter with the abyssal unknown. In my darkest moment, my father, his expression shifting from confusion to an inexplicable dread, sprang into action. With unwavering determination, he pulled me back to the safety of the shore, rescuing me from the eldritch horrors that had nearly claimed me. In the aftermath of that horrifying ordeal, my journey took an unexpected and life-altering turn. Seeking answers, I visited doctors who uncovered a chilling truth. I was the unwitting victim of a family curse, schizoaffective disorder. My father, haunted by the guilt of not inheriting this affliction from his brother and mother, was shattered by the revelation. Fortunately, my condition was diagnosed early, but the knowledge of my affliction cast a long, dark shadow over my life. It was as though the very foundations of my existence had been shattered, revealing a harsh reality I had long been shielded from. Everything I once believed was thrown into turmoil, a tangled web of delusions unraveling before my eyes. People I thought I knew, who had stood steadfast by my side, became distorted figures, their motivations and actions now clouded by my altered perspective. Ideas and dreams I'd once cherished were exposed as mere illusions, a testament to the fragility of my own mind. The erratic outbursts that had plagued my life were now recognized as symptoms of mood swings that had eluded my comprehension for far too long. In the wake of these revelations, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery, one that would test my resilience and redefine my understanding of reality. It was a challenging odyssey, marked by uncertainty and introspection, but it ultimately led to a deeper connection with my own identity and a newfound appreciation for the enduring strength of the human spirit.